Drop the ball right off the bat. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Movies Are Terrible Live right here on YouTube, or you might be checking out the audio-only podcast version on any platform where podcasts are available. I'm Jeremy, and I'm joined as always with co-host and sexy dreamboat, Caleb Miles.
Hey, man. So I have good news today that I didn't even tell you. So I had another cancer screening.
Good.
Everything came out great.
Excellent.
So I only have to go once a year. Bad part is my doctor was like, hey, you need to lose some weight. You gained a shit ton of weight.
You're like, that's not what I came here for?
I'm like, yeah, I know that. Believe me, I know I'm getting a ton of weight. I have mirrors, and I know how my clothes fit.
Random Andy's channel, Mark McKeever and Pat McKay, welcome to the chat, you guys. Thank you so much for coming by to hang out this evening. We do have a ton of awesome topics that we're going to get to, some of which were recommended by you. So thank you very much for keeping those coming over on the Patreon page. If you yourself want to consider becoming a Patreon supporter, all you got to do is head to the Movies Are Terrible Patreon page. I'll post a link down in the description. You can head over there and help support the channel and potentially buy me a Blade puppet, like a life-size replica of the Blade puppet from the Puppet Master franchise, so I can stick it back there on my thing.
I hope that they buy you an actual puppet of Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Yeah, dude, like a Team America version of Blade.
That's even better.
That is. Oh, what's up, Brad? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the conversation. So, Chief in the chat, Whooshy R6 in the chat. Caleb, tell him a little bit of context for that. So you got a screening this week. It went well. Why wouldn't it? What's the origin story here?
So I had thyroid cancer, which anything above 2 centimeters or anything above, I think, like getting close to 2 centimeters of a growth is pretty bad, potentially deadly. Mine was 3 centimeters.
Dang.
So they were like, hey, you might go into the doctor. We had surgery, so I have no thyroid. They removed it. And they were like, hey, we could get in there and we could be like, hey, everything went good. Or we could stitch you back up and be like, hey, you have 6 months to live. We don't know. So now it's been almost 2 years now. And now I can officially go to screenings once a year because I used to do them like every 3 months.
And it was everything since then has been good news, obviously. You didn't have a biopsy that was like, hey, there's a chance it's coming back, anything like that?
No, I mean, we had ultrasounds that looked troublesome, but they, did biopsies and like, oh, no, nothing to worry about.
So, yeah, Caleb and I have worked together for a few years now, and I actually remember when that was going down and just being like, fuck, like, that's some serious shit. This is my buddy, and all of a sudden it was almost out of nowhere.
Dude, I didn't even know I had it. I went in because I had a fat cyst on my neck that I wanted to get removed, and it was like, just literally, so I was like, yeah, I'm finally going to get this removed. And I went in, and the doctor touches that, and then he goes, right away. I guess he could see it.
Holy shit.
Saw it. He goes, you ever had your thyroid checked? And I was like, shit.
And then he stuck his finger up your butt?
Well, naturally. He did that first.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's right. I forget the order of operations.
It's butt, then throat. That's the
order. Did they lance let's talk about the important thing. Did they lance the cyst?
Oh, yeah. So I have a scar right there and a scar right here. So I tell people, when people ask me what it is, I tell them I got stabbed with a samurai sword.
Oh, yeah. Straight through.
Straight through.
Did you see what it produced?
The fat cyst?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I saw a picture of the thyroid with the cancer on it.
Look, we've moved on from cancer, dude. We're talking about cysts now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about the cyst. I didn't see that.
Oh, man, I've watched so many disgusting videos of that shit. I don't know what it is. There's something about it. Are you one of the people who are repulsed, or does it give you some sort of like pacifist?
Like the Dr. Pimple Popper thing?
Yeah.
I've seen like every episode of that show. It's disgusting, but I can't look away.
Yeah, what's up with that, dude? Same situation for me. I'll like, oh my God, let me watch the next video.
Yeah, I can't stop. I can't look away.
You guys, let us know in the chat. Are you a big fan of the pimple popping videos, or do you think it's disgusting? Or both. You could be in that camp. Yeah. So, before we get into the weekly weird news and the Florida Man topics, did you have a chance to catch up on WandaVision?
No, but there's something else that I know you at least partially watched that I watched all of that we do need to talk about.
Hit me.
And that's Coming to America too.
Oh, buddy.
it's a rough watch. It's a
Oh,
real,
buddy.
real rough watch. It was pretty much Coming to America without all the charm of Coming to America and without all the humor of Coming to America.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is a part of me, and we're gonna get into mild spoilers here. Trust me, it's not gonna fucking ruin the movie for you. The movie itself's gonna take care of that. But there's something about seeing Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall in a movie, and then In Vogue showing up, and then Salt and Pepper showing up, that it like it did that same thing to my brain that watching the Roy Jones and Mike Tyson fight did, where I was like, oh, I'm in my little warm space. I crawled back into the utero here.
See, I hate that. I hate nostalgia. So it is literally everything I hated. I was just like, it's like, oh, hey, do you remember that joke? Here's that joke again.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Do you remember this scene? Here's that scene again.
The movie could have been substantially shorter if they trusted the audience to have seen the first movie, because they kept playing fucking clips. I'm like, what is this?
It was rough. So far for me, it has been the worst movie I've watched this year. But realistically, probably the worst movie I've watched in like the last 3 years.
Let me introduce you to Tubi, bro. I watched Puppet Master X a couple days ago. That was slightly worse. I would say it was worse. Objectively.
Did you finish Puppet Master X?
Yeah, but we can't use that as the barometer because I had to. I was in the middle of filming a video of it. I might have walked away otherwise.
Okay, because
Connor Stork in the chat. What's up, dude? Thank you for stopping by.
I agree with Brandon Andy's channel. I cannot stand Leslie Jones either. I don't think she's funny. I think she every scene she's in.
Dang. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like her, but her shtick is very, very narrow. Like, she's got the one thing that she does always. Mm-hmm. But what else are you gonna do as her age and body type, and like it's
literally
perfect for her.
Else. Literally anything else than playing the biggest stereotype ever. That's how about that?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I get where you're coming from. My biggest problem with Coming to America is twofold. For one thing, it looked a lot like Black Panther. Obviously, same costume designer, and that's fine. But when they were doing like the staff battles and shit, I'm like, what movie am I watching? This is not Coming to America.
You didn't get to the end. There's action scenes at the end of the movie.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, there's literal fight scenes at the end of the movie.
Fuck that. Oh, man. Wesley Snipes is a trip, dude. It was funny seeing him try to be funny and not being funny. I enjoyed that.
And what's sad is he's probably the funniest part of the movie, and he's still not funny.
All right, well, we shit on Coming to America for a little bit. Yeah, I got to catch up on Attack on Titan. I watched 2 episodes since the last time we talked, and I'm in, dude. I really enjoy it.
It's so good. I'm 4 episodes into season 2. I haven't watched another episode of WandaVision. I keep telling myself I'm gonna. I just haven't had time.
Mark disagrees that it's that bad. And with a sad face emoji, it's fine. You know, there are people who are going to be a lot more generous about movies in general than us two clowns. And to be fair, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Why would this be the one thing that I was like, crystal clear on?
I don't know, man. For me, it was rough. Even I watched it with my wife, and we got through the whole movie, and she looks at me afterwards and she goes, did we even like giggle or chuckle or anything that whole movie? I was like, no, we did not. We did not.
Coming to Zamunda is what it really should have been called.
It's fun. I said that same thing. I'm like, it should have been called Coming to Zamunda.
It would have been no better, but at least the title would have made sense.
And also, the daughter should have been the main character, because Eddie Murphy in the first film is kind of charming and likable, and like a good guy. That's his whole thing. He's like a good dude. The daughter is a good dude. The guy that they got for his son is completely unlikable in every single scene. The character, I'm not even the actor, just like how they wrote the character. I'm like, I don't like this guy at all. I don't want to root for him. I don't want him to succeed in what he's doing. I cannot stand him.
Yeah. All right. I couldn't agree more, which is unfortunate because, yes, Coming to America is one of those comedies, one of the best comedies from the 80s. Probably, I think we talked about it before, probably top 10 comedy. Well, it's tough, man, to rank anything, but it's good. Yeah. It's one of the greats.
Didn't what's his name direct it? The guy who did What's
Yes.
his name?
John.
American Werewolf.
Yeah.
John
Landis. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
His son's a real hack.
His son. He wrote American.
Ultra.
What was this? No, did he write that?
Mm-hmm.
But he wrote the Superman story. He wrote a really good Superman arc.
I heard about that, and I did hear it was really good.
Really good. American Alien or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he wrote Chronicle, right?
Yeah, and Chronicle was pretty good.
I think he's a great writer.
You're a hack. All right, let's move on.
That's true.
All right. We're going to go ahead and switch gears to weird news. And we're going to start this off with a new Stanford study that says Zoom calls trigger our fight or flight survival reflex. Caleb, we're on Zoom right now. Actually, we're on Meet, so maybe it's different.
It's better. We're a little farther away, or...
What do you think, dude? Do you ever get crippling anxiety or feel like your adrenaline kicks into overdrive when you get on Zoom calls?
No, only when I wake up in the morning do I have crippling anxiety.
Relatable.
No, I don't. For me, it doesn't bother me. I'm on Zoom all day, literally like 8 hours a day at my job. And my job, I kind of just put the Zoom on, I mute myself, and I do my own thing. They can stare at my face. Like,
Yeah.
It just kind of doesn't exist. So maybe that's why. Did you read the study as to why they say it does it?
No.
Why it triggers the fight or flight? They're saying because you're looking at faces up that close, and faces up that close typically mean some sort of danger.
Yeah.
They're like, it's an evolutionary response. If something's this close to your face, it's not a good place for it to be another human. It's a sign of aggression. And so they say a lot of people, it does really freak them out, which that does make sense to me.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it does. I mean, I would counter back the fuck up off your monitor, but that's, you know what I mean? Like, if it's so close, just back up. John Ram, happy belated birthday. Coming through clutch with the $4.99 super chat. That super chat says, love you, bro. The birthday hangover is kicking in. Thanks for making my day better. Well, you know what, man? You just made my day a little bit better, too. So right back at you, John. Thank you for being a part of the chat and the conversation. Always like to see new faces in here. So thanks for stopping by. Let's see. So, Caleb, I mean, what you just now said actually makes a bit of sense. I guess if you're confronted with the same thing time and time again, it becomes much less impactful. Like, I get a little bit of anxiety when I'm talking to strangers, people that maybe I haven't talked to in a while, and I get on a phone call with them or a Zoom call, but I feel that dissipates the more times you do it.
Well, and you and me are also in a weird situation. We come on here and just talk in front of people. So I think we're in a different situation. I'm not really a shy guy anyway. Like, I can talk to anyone. But I could see someone, let's say like my wife. My wife is more shy. I think she would hate being on Zoom calls all the time.
I was watching Jimmy Kimmel Live last night, and there was a little girl who had, I don't even know the story, so I'm going to fuck it up, but she figured out a loophole for basically how she could accidentally disconnect herself from the Zoom call. So she got out of doing school for like weeks. And I am not like a stickler for, correct behavior or how people should act. But I was like, dude, Jimmy Kimmel is way too glorifying bad behavior for a 10-year-old girl to possibly develop right afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like, if you get
I
nationally rewarded for fucking skipping school, it's going to take you down that path, man.
Well, I mean, I could go on a whole rant how we nationally reward bad behavior.
Yeah, let's just move on to the next story.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, dude, this is a great headline. I don't know. I haven't dug into it yet. We learn all this stuff together, real time.
This, Random the Andy channel says, wait, people still watch late night? No, Jeremy does.
Correct, yes.
No one else does.
Yeah, I'm like the last dude. Like, did you see
Yeah,
SNL last Saturday? No.
I remember you told me, man, did you watch SNL? I'm like, dude, no one watches SNL. No one does.
We have had this conversation before, so thanks for calling me out, Andy. A COVID-19 patient died after experiencing a 3-hour erection that doctors struggled to treat. A 69-year-old man with obesity and a cough came into the ER with trouble breathing. When he started to feel worse, he was put on a ventilator and was turned on his belly. He was like stuck up like a fucking A-frame. Then
Are we really going to make fun of a dude who died from COVID? Is this the path we're going down?
Yeah. He then developed a 3-hour erection. I'm just going to pretend you didn't say that part. That doctors had to drain with needles. He died soon after. All right. Maybe he didn't die from COVID. Maybe we're making fun of him because he died from having his dick drained.
I'm going to, for the first time on this podcast, I'm going to be the one who takes the higher road, and I'm not going to make fun of the person who died from COVID.
All right, bro. I'm just going to put you on mute for the next 5 minutes so I can go in on this dude. 69 years old, man. That's a decent run. It's a good age to die, considering what he died of.
69 a good age to die? I don't think that's a great age to die. Dude,
when you die getting your boner leaked.
How old are you?
Oh, all right. We're going to go down that road, bro?
Yeah, no, I'm 35.
39.
I'm 35. Yeah, see? You're almost done then, bro, according to your logic.
Oh, shit. What's up, Hacks? Welcome to the conversation. Tyler, Bouchard, Daryl. What's up, you guys? Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, 69 is a good run. I agree with you, John. I don't know what this guy's talking about. All right,
so I've tried to cancel the funny. I'm trying not to get canceled myself, Hacks. That's what it is.
All right. A technique called proning can help with COVID. About 12 hours later, a nurse discovered that the man was experiencing a strange symptom that had only been reported once before. Priapism, or an unintended hours-long erection that can be painful. I mean, that sounds like what you get from, like they induce that with Viagra.
Like Blue Chew or whatever the hell.
Yeah. We needed them as a sponsor, by the way. We spent a lot of time talking about erections for no money.
This is a lot of dick talk on this movie podcast.
All right, fine. All right, we'll move on. We'll forge through. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys got at least a little giggle out of the headline. It's fucking Buzzkill Caleb over here. Oh, shit. Okay. Oh, this one, another good headline. Woman dies of car... No, just kidding. Rudy Giuliani's daughter, Caroline, graphically details threesome fetish and experiences in open article. First question, why? Second question, how did Dad feel about it?
Dad felt horrible. That's like a dad's nightmare, you know?
Hack says, hard way to go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Hacks can make the jokes.
I mean, dude, you've got... No, we're not even going to go in that direction, but can you imagine how devastating that would be?
Dude, devastating. No, I can. As someone who has a daughter, that's devastating.
I just can't imagine, like, what would make her think that was what people wanted to read in the first place.
I think that is what people want to read in the first place.
I mean, we're talking about it.
Yeah, no, I think that is what people want to read. You know how we were talking about glorifying behavior? I mean, that's... Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fair point. The piece, which opens with the words, "I want to watch my boyfriend bend you over." Caroline, the 32-year-old daughter of Rudy Giuliani with Donna Hanover, writes, "I had known for some time I was at least bisexual, but had barely explored that side of my sexuality. I knew I wanted to experience new dynamics." Cool.
Do what you want. I think it's, like, go do you, be happy, but I just think it's a weird article. Like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not trying to kink shame this girl whatsoever, but, like, why is she telling everybody this? That's what I don't... Live your truth, girlfriend. She says...
You actually just said something I had a rant about today with my wife. The term "your truth," how it's like my biggest pet peeve on the planet.
Yeah. Well, hit me. Why?
So there is no such thing as your truth. There's the truth, and there's your opinion or your interpretation.
Yes, your perception of the truth.
Yes, your truth. When someone goes, "Well, I'm just telling you my truth." No. When someone tells you they're telling you your truth, it means they're lying to you. Is what that means. That's coded language for, "Hey, I'm lying to you."
On Thursday, Vanity Fair published a piece called "A Unicorn's Tale: Three-Way Sex with Couples Has Made Me a Better Person." I don't know. I mean,
maybe you did. Who knows?
She was looking for someone to dominate her but be submissive to her boyfriend. What was the end game here? What's she trying to get at? Just make daddy upset?
That or just trying to get any sort of little bit of, uh, clout or a little bit of 5 seconds fame.
Mm.
That's what
Yeah.
I probably think it would be.
Joan 09624, I think I co-sign that statement, but it does get a little bit I do believe that the truth is the truth. However, I do believe that perception can dictate reality as well. So there is definitely a philosophical conversation to be had there. Andy goes the other way with it and says there's no such thing as your truth. There is. I think that both things can be true. And just as a kind of thought experiment, the fact that two different people can fall on two different sides of something as objective as is the truth true kind of points to that. It's like, how do we perceive? Perception is reality, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Do you agree with that?
That perception is reality?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think perception is your reality.
But isn't that all that there? Isn't perception all that there is?
No, like 2 + 2 is 4. I don't care if you perceive it to be 5. It's still not 5.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. What's up, Zombie Slayer? What's up, King of the Hills 34? Super tardy. I was out running. Hopefully, I don't get detention. You're good here. We're just gonna go ahead and mark you as absent, so that way you don't get in trouble for that. She was a cuck queen, which is a woman who enjoys role-playing humiliation this way. All right, we're done. We're done here. I'm good.
Cut queen?
Cunt queen. No.
like cut. Like, is there actual cutting involved in this?
Is that what it said? No, I think I mispronounced it.
I was like, whoa, this
Cuck.
is way kinky.
Cuck.
Oh, cuck.
Like
okay,
cuckold.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Oh, man. I want Rudy Giuliani's op-ed about this. That's what I do know.
Now, that's something I would be more interested in reading.
Yeah. Rudy Giuliani replies to oversharing daughter. And yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, well, that's the same story. Let's go ahead and move into the week's Florida Man headlines. I'm sure there's not anything grim here. What you got, Caleb?
Are you skipping one? The cat story? Or is that in Florida?
It's got to be a Florida one. I hope I didn't pull that out. Because
that's the best story. If you pull that out, we're going to talk about it.
We got to hit it. No, let's go ahead and jump into this one because I agree. This is... a 56-year-old ex-con was arrested Monday after striking her 73-year-old male pal with a cat following an argument. Of course, this is Florida. Ex-con accused of using a cat to assault 73-year-old Florida man. Did you read the article?
I skimmed it. That she threw the cat at him.
Heard is also accused of hitting the alleged victim directly on the left side of his face. He had visible injuries to his right knee and foot too. That lady definitely looks like somebody who would throw a cat at you if you had an argument.
Yeah. This is something I would want to see like actual footage of.
Yeah, it says no weapons were seized. I wonder if that counts for the feline as well.
They just took the cat.
Is that the murder weapon?
I wonder how it escalated to this point to where that was her first reaction. Was like, just pick up the cat and throw it.
Yeah, and then it opens up more questions like, was it her cat? Was it his cat? How many lives had the cat expended at this point? I mean, it can be a lot more dangerous towards the end, you know?
Is that what it is? Was as far as it goes down, it gets more dangerous?
Yeah. And if the cat had just now recently used its litter box and it possibly had fecal matter in its claws and its little sharp claws.
Actually do have like bacteria in their nails?
Oh, fuck yeah. That's why when you get scratched by them, they welt up like a fucking mosquito bite, dude. That's cat poop, y'all.
Yeah, that's the cat poo.
Yes, Mark McKeever, it was indeed a pussy slap.
Yeah, I was gonna say he asked. That's not what he meant when he said "put your pussy on my face." That's not what he meant.
Oh man, Wendy Hurd, looking like you've been on meth for a while. Maybe not.
She's been on meth. If anyone throwing a cat's been on meth.
Yeah.
Maybe this is from last week's episode. Maybe this is the lady who thought her cat came back after all these years.
After a week or so, realizing it's not her cat, she said, fucking take it.
Get out of
Oh, what a catastrophe! What a catastrophe indeed. Yes, guess you could say the guy who created maths perceived 2 plus 2 equaling 4, so he could be wrong, and it may not be the truth. See, it gets deep. It goes deep.
It doesn't get that deep.
All right, that's fine. Agree to disagree. I'm over here telling my truth.
You go live your truth over there.
Oh shit, man. According to Yahoo Entertainment, New York City performer Naked Cowboy, the man, the myth, the legend, was arrested in Florida for panhandling. You've heard of the Naked Cowboy.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's an icon.
He is an icon. I guess icons might be a little fast and loose with the icon.
I mean, New York's a big fucking city. Everybody knows he's there. I just now realized it, and I don't care, and it doesn't have to lead to anything else, but he's got nothing but Trump election stickers on the facade of his guitar. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Every single fucking inch of the front of his guitar is covered with Trump stickers, and then his guitar strap is American flags, so he's obviously very patriotic.
Well, he's a cowboy. So,
Robert Burke, popularly known as the Times Square performer Naked Cowboy, was arrested Saturday in Florida during Daytona Beach's annual Bike Week. The police claim that Burke was dressed in his usual Naked Cowboy attire. Well, kind of sounds like a little bit of a contradiction there. How can you be naked and dressed, guys? He was wearing his white briefs, cowboy boots, cowboy hat, and a guitar when he saw attendees gather around for a picture as he stood about 10 feet away from a shop. Then the authorities approached him when they noticed people were placing money inside of his soundhole guitar. He was arrested for resisting without violence for getting in trouble for panhandling.
I guess they must have strict panhandling laws. I didn't even know people really got arrested for panhandling.
I've never seen that before.
Me either. But I do agree that you said he's not really a naked cowboy.
No, it's false advertising, if anything.
It is. If he's not hanging brain, he's not a naked cowboy.
Oh man, I can't. So, I mean, what do you think? They went up. Photos released by the police show that the headstock of his guitar was broken. Authorities argue that the damage occurred when he was resisting arrest. Footage from his arrest was posted on YouTube and shows a small crowd gathering around as a handcuffed Naked Cowboy leans on a patrol car. I mean, dude, do you think it was the cop just trying to get in the news?
No, I don't think that was. I doubt that's what it was. Cops do not want to be in the news. That's the worst place to be.
It's a really fair point. That's a really good point. And this just makes you kind of look like an asshole, though, because I see people panhandle all the time. And regardless of whether I feel it should or shouldn't be legal, I've just never seen it enforced like that.
No, I haven't either. I've never seen it enforced like that. But when you're the person who's a naked guy with a guitar, you're always coming off looking like the weirdo and the crazy person.
That's fair.
Every interaction.
You make it from New York City, which can't be cheap to live there. Maybe we're just going to assume he's homeless, fine. But he was able to get to Florida and panhandle there. Like, what do you think his financial situation is? Because them briefs, very whiter than mine, if I'm being honest.
Well, I'm more curious as to why he is in Florida and not in New York. Is it like, does he migrate? Has no clothes? He's like a fucking,
like a fucking dove.
Yeah. Does he migrate? Like, I don't know. Why is he down in Florida?
The fact that you have to ask just shows a lack of your knowledge of Florida, man. You have to be in Florida, man. Everybody from New York's moving to Florida.
Are they?
I don't know.
Like a real thing?
I mean,
okay. It's like, is this a real thing? Or are you getting influx?
Because
they're getting everyone from California and Denver. They're all moving to here.
So I think similarly, we got Trump down in Mar-a-Lago. We got him. Boom. Yes. Score one for the fucking home team, baby. We got him. And then also Flagrant 2, Akash Singh and Andrew Schultz moved to Miami. So three people. Yeah.
They were down there.
Yep.
That's pretty much all of New York.
Yeah.
That's three people.
Alex Jones was on the last Flagrant 2.
Was it absolutely batshit insane?
It's the fucking craziest podcast I've ever seen, and it was very, very entertaining.
I've said this, and people need to take this. explain what I mean when I say I love Alex Jones. I love Alex Jones because he's a freaking crazy person. Don't believe anything he says because he's a psycho, but like he's entertaining to watch him be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's just so lack of self-awareness, but then at the same
last time he was on Rogan with it was what, 3 of them? It was
Eddie Bravo.
Eddie, yeah, and Rogan. That was the craziest podcast, man. Like absolutely insane. I'm like, this dude is unhinged.
Yes. That was a little sidetrack there, but Hacks says in regards to the Naked Cowboy, he's pretty famous. He wasn't homeless and made good money, but no tourism now. So in New York, so I don't know. Maybe that is what it is. Maybe because there was no opportunities.
Spring break crowd.
Yeah. I didn't know that busking in particular was the same as panhandling, because if you're sitting on the side of the street playing guitar and somebody comes up and gives you money, that is not the same thing as approaching them and saying, hey, you got some change.
I would agree with that. Actually, we just got groceries and someone was playing the violin right now, you know?
Did they were they homeless?
No, I don't think so. They had like a big PA system set up. So
Yeah. Were they busking? Like, were people giving them money?
Yeah, I think so. It was far away, but I could hear it because the PA system. But I saw people around it. It was just in the grocery store parking lot.
Strings, man. Violins and cellos are, other than guitars and pianos, cellos in particular, like my favorite instruments.
Mark McKeever says, I got one hell of a snowstorm coming my way. Yes, I do. They're saying this is going to be the biggest snowstorm, I think, since like 1885.
Wow.
It's supposed to hit tonight or tomorrow. They're saying up to 4 or 5 feet of snow.
Caleb sent me some pictures just a couple weeks back of the snowstorm.
Like that was like 16 inches. So imagine way more than that.
That's unreal. I'm about to just kind of brag on.
They're saying this is going to be a huge wrong camera, but still.
I was showing them, man.
Know. Oh, okay.
66 degrees.
I actually don't know what it is right now.
75 degrees tomorrow is the high. Low of 57. Man, that's why people are coming to Florida. Oh, shit. That hit a little harder than I thought it was going to. I just kind of like threw my phone. Didn't even get it in frame. I'm a rebel.
45 degrees today, but they're saying, I don't know, they're saying it'll drop to, I don't know what tomorrow, but it'll drop to 30 tonight. So, yeah, it's going to get rough.
It's crazy. Hopefully y'all come out of it relatively soon and can get spring going, because it's about that time.
Well, and then so my wife works Saturday there, so she's going to pack an overnight bag just because she may not be coming home, Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So this is according to 1051thebounce.com. I'm assuming that's a radio station. And the headline is D-Bag. A woman attacks her roommate for playing the same song over and over on a loop. And the song, dude, so good. It's Freak Out. Freak Out! Say she, not freak.
Oh, okay.
Freak out!
I didn't read what it was. I just saw that. And immediately my mind went to Baby Shark because I hear that song 5 billion times a day.
That's crazy.
It does make it a little crazy.
Subway, the franchise, had a nationwide thing where they were playing remixes to Baby Shark. I was in there for 35 minutes and I thought I was going to fucking break, dude.
Dude, it's rough.
Baby Shark, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, dude, there's days where it's just like, how kids are. They just can't get enough of the same thing. So it's like over and over and over. And you're like, okay, I'm kind of going to go crazy right now.
See what happens. Freak out. See how that fucking kiddo reacts to that.
She might murder me.
It really is. That's a softball, though. That's like perfect fucking Florida man fodder. 53-year-old Mary Ann Lannon has lived with her cousin in Clearwater, Florida for the last 5 years. And earlier this week, she lost it when the cousin wouldn't stop blasting the same song over and over again on a loop. It happened around 12:15 in the morning on Tuesday, and the song she freaked out to was Chic's 1978 disco hit, Le Freak. Oh, yeah.
What would be the worst song that you think would make you snap? What's the one song?
I mean, you hit me with one of probably the premium answer, but then something like one that I've heard a ton, Macarena.
That's one.
That would be
Barbie Girl.
bad. Barbie Girl would be bad.
It would be bad. Imagine listening to that for days straight. Rough.
Patrick says the Paw Patrol song makes me want to murder. I've heard it so much.
I haven't even heard Paw Patrol. She has Paw Patrol pajamas, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Keith D, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the conversation. And you said songs looped have actually been used as mental torture in some countries. I heard that.
Yeah.
There was a radio station, I think it was 107.3 here in Pensacola, probably 1995 to 1998, something like that. And it was it was my favorite one because it played like Papa Roach and Deftones and all that trash, Korn, all that trash. And when it ended and they were in between people buying the radio station, there was like a, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 week period where it was Macarena every single time you turned it to the station.
My memory of Macarena was we used to, in like second grade or whenever, they made us all stand up at the end of the day to do the dance and everything. And I refused. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this. Because I was a grumpy kid, just like I am a grumpy man now. Like,
yeah.
No fun in life. He was like, no, we're not doing this. And I got in trouble for that.
Dude, if it doesn't like break down the actual steps to it, like Cha-Cha, Macarena, what are some of the other ones? Cha-Cha, Electric Slide, yeah. Is there more?
There has to be more. I know there's a Cha-Cha now, y'all. That's an awful song.
What's the one that grab your partner, do-si-do? I don't know if that's even a song, but they tell you what to do in square dancing.
What is a do-si-do?
That's a really, really good question, man. This is why people come here.
That just is like, and might as well be another language to me.
Do-si-do. And the other way, back with the left elbow.
Okay. I guess you just like run.
You like run past each other?
Yeah, and just.
Oh, okay. Is it when we would lock elbows and go around in a circle?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hokey Pokey, that's another one, absolutely. I worked as a DJ for a little while, and there was a venue that I did called Wild Greg's. It's like a country western bar around here. And dude, the girls that came to that spot were baddies, man. I'm just like, because that's where the old money's at around here, is like really rural, salt of the earth people. But anyways, I was actually kind of impressed by square dancing by the time that I stopped working there.
I've never been to a country bar ever, my entire life.
In Colorado, I'm imagining there's probably a shitload.
I'm assuming there has to be somewhere.
When I was there, I was in Silverton, Colorado, and I know that's not really close to Denver, but it was very much like something out of an old western,
Yeah, me living in the suburbs is about as close as I get to like outdoors or like this is far out for me, and I'm like in the burbs.
Yeah, I definitely grew up around country folks, and never thought that I would be working in a country line dancing bar. But yeah, alas, there we were.
Yeah, it's just not for me. I'm not one of these people who I hate when people like shit all over people for being country folk. Go do you. Be happy.
Yeah.
There's all different types of people. Be happy out there. I don't care. It's just not for me.
Live your fucking truth out there. All right. I think we've covered the Florida man and the weird news, so now we're going to switch gears because we actually do have a ton of movie news headlines that we're going to discuss with you guys tonight. Yeah, it took a minute because at first there were no stories. Oh, wow. Hopeful M, I went to Wild Greg's once. Never again. What's up? I didn't realize you were native, or maybe you've been here on vacation. Oh, Brad Feddick. Cotton Eye Joe still plays at school dances. That's another one that could potentially drive you insane. You know that song?
Where did you come from? Where did you go? And then, yeah.
Get out from Cotton Eye Joe. Yeah, that shit. That was a banger when I was in middle school. I live here. Oh, no doubt. Well, that's awesome. Not too often I see fellow Pensacolians in here. Well, actually, Wild Greg's kind of had a pretty big controversy right around the time that I left because the manager was a fucking asshole and ended up getting in like trouble. I don't remember what it was that he did. Let's see. I'm going to pull that up real quick. Wild Greg's Sokola manager. He did. I think he was just like harassing, like being an asshole, like yelling at. Oh wait, no. Here we go. Here we go. Wild Greg's saloon owner and manager behind bars without bond. Both of them. So they've been arrested connecting to ongoing investigations about Wild Greg's saloon. They're in jail for destroying or tampering with evidence, and both men are charged with resisting an officer without violence, which is a little misleading. It's more than just resisting arrest. It's resisting an officer or interfering with an officer while in the course of performing duty. So I wonder if they were like flushing cocaine down the fucking toilet or what was going on.
If he was naked, then he would be the real naked cowboy.
Yes, dude, yes. The naked cowboy needs to take over as the manager of Wild Greg's.
I think that's the plan.
Okay, so one of the bouncers, dude named Corey, allegedly put a customer in a headlock, then beat him, and then the managers deleted the footage, so that's where their trouble came from. Cool.
Yeah. That sounds like some club bar shit.
Yeah. It does. It sounds like Friday night at the bar.
Yeah, as I say, that sounds like what happens at a lot of bars and clubs.
Let's see here. All right. Well, yeah. So first movie news headline, guys. You know we can't do a full podcast without talking about your boy Zack Snyder. He accidentally debuts Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, it was. I don't know how long was it up for. Were people able to watch the entire film?
I think it was up for about an hour and 40 minutes, and somebody saw that much of it, but then they pulled it.
That's a horrible way to watch it.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's horrible. That's crazy to me. I mean, I can see how something like that happens, but that's crazy. I would say, wouldn't you agree that's HBO Max's biggest launch easily?
Yeah.
The Snyder Cut?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, and they messed that up that bad. That's pretty horrible.
What's up, Nick? Welcome to the conversation. Nick Mayfield in the chat. So yeah, I don't know, man. That's somebody clicked to watch Tom and Jerry, which was like one of the featured movies. They clicked to watch Tom and Jerry. Boom, Snyder Cut comes up. Is it possible, just put our fucking tinfoil hats on for a moment, is it possible that they did this to stay in the headlines? Because for the past several weeks, they've been hitting us with something to stay relevant the entire time.
It has been. It's been overload. It's been a lot of Snyder news.
So what do you think? Is it possible that it was a strategic move?
It's possible. I think it's a lot more possible that someone lost their job over this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what the reactions to... Oh, no, actually, I read the guy's comment on it, and he said it's the best... either the best Zack Snyder movie or the best DCEU movie of all of them. So he was really happy with what he saw.
Okay.
Which is good. You know, that's good to hear. I imagine that there's going to be a lot of things to like in it. I actually, I just rewatched Batman vs. Superman, but I watched the extended edition for the first time.
Oh, did you? It's definitely better. It's more complete.
Yeah. And you and I talked about it a couple weeks back in regards to the Martha situation. So if you end up watching Holden's video... you're going to see me say, my boy Caleb said this about Martha. Well, no, because I didn't want to just take your shit, because I'm sure you're the only person in the world that's ever said that.
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
So I wanted to credit you as the creator of the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I agree with you, and I was trying to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt as I watched the movie. I don't love it. I don't know if I even like it, but there are some things in it that I do like.
Visually, it's cool.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. Holden brought up a good point, and I wanted to kind of get you to weigh in on it. The point that he brought up was Jesse Eisenberg spends the first half of the movie elaborately manipulating things behind the scenes to set up the conflict between Batman and Superman. But then inevitably or ultimately he just simply kidnaps Lois. He takes Martha hostage and forces Superman to go at him that way. So was there a point in all of the stuff before that?
So here's me, as you know how I sound. comic book movies in general, most of the plots are nonsensical. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Andy, 2 seconds. Just cover your ears. Cover. Cover your ears for a second. I will wave my hands like this when I'm done, like this in frame when I'm done. So spoilers in 3, 2, 1 for a video. I thought that maybe the reason why he had to do all of that groundwork in the beginning was so that he could get Batman to a level where that Batman was able to suit up in the armor and get the kryptonite and be actually ready to battle Superman, because there would have been no way that Batman could have went up against Superman at any point prior to that.
You know, he had to do it simply so we could get that fight scene. That's literally what it is.
Fair.
That's all what these movies are. You know, it's all of these movies are setting up a fight. Every comic movie.
We're back. Andy, you're good. I didn't want to. You're right. I did mention a little bit, but don't worry. There's still plenty of thoughts to be shared in there. Okay, cool. Do blah blah. Can hear over you. Blah blah blah. I'm good. We're good, Andy. We're good. We're done. So I think it's interesting. If it is a viral marketing technique, I kind of got to give them credit for it. There's a lot of people that I've heard say, and I think there's validity to it, absolutely, that Marvel is doing the perfect strategy to stay in the cultural zeitgeist from week to week by releasing their film slowly, or their series slowly.
I agree.
What's crazy about that is, because Snyder Cut is going directly to HBO Max and they're not doing the weekly release, they're just giving it all to us at one time. Do you think it's going to be a flash in the pan and then on to the next thing?
I actually don't. I think there's been so much about this film. I mean, Batman versus Superman, we're still talking about today. Love it or hate it.
Yeah.
That's the thing Justice League, we're still talking about today. The Snyder movies do that to people. People either love them or they get enraged by them, but they stay relevant way longer than you would assume they would.
That's a really interesting point. Because they're divisive, I feel like it allows for a lot more discourse and conversation about them.
Yeah. That's personally why I love them, is because I love stuff that you can disagree on and see it different ways, and I love stuff like that.
Did you notice that there's been a huge cultural shift in people's perception of Man of Steel? Like, when it came out, everybody hated it, but now a lot of people are like, it was an underappreciated masterpiece.
I tell this all the time. My opinion on film will be popular in 10 years. I can't tell you how many movies I've watched, and people are like, that's a bad movie. I'm like, it's great. And they're like, it's a cult classic now. I'm like, yeah, I know. I saw it in theaters. I told you guys it was great, and everyone said I was an idiot. You know?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, you were ahead of the curve on that one for sure. I wonder how all these are going to age. I wonder if people are going to look back at the thing. And you know what I love? When people are like, stop comparing Marvel to DC. And at that point, I say, you're right. I mean, it's like comparing apples to oranges, which are both clearly fucking fruits that grow in trees, motherfucker. It's the same shit. You can compare anything.
Absolutely compare superhero films to other superhero films.
They're both based on comic book. Like, so crazy.
I feel like comparing DC to Marvel, me comparing Batman versus Superman to Justice League makes a lot more sense than me comparing Avengers than me comparing Avengers to Schindler's List.
Yes, correct. Correct. I don't remember what the point of that was, but there was something there. When people say you can't compare the two of them. Is that when you go back and watch Marvel movies later on down the line, I wonder how they are going to just say I wanted to go watch Ant-Man. You know, is it going to hold up in 10 years without the context of the rest of the stuff? Are you just going to be able to grab a random Marvel movie out of the stack and watch it and enjoy it?
Yes, you will if you already have the nostalgia. They're going to, because they were such massive hits, they're going to have a lot of nostalgia. I wonder how many people will watch them who had never seen them at the time of a release. And go, wow, that was a really great movie.
Yes.
It's kind of going to be, I think, Richard Donner's Superman. Most people who love that were people who grew up, either saw it when it came out or grew up watching it. And then it, but if you show it to, like, if I were to just grab some 15-year-old off the street who's never watched any superhero films and go, hey, watch Richard Donner Superman, they'd watch and go, what the hell is this piece of garbage?
Yeah, they would. I grew up like that. Like, I grew up not liking that character. So when people say I have a bias, it's like, yeah, so everybody does, unfortunately. Like, we come into every experience with our every bit of baggage, every memory, every fucking thing that's ever happened to us, we take into it. And yeah, I grew up thinking Superman was cheesy. To be fair, though, I also thought Captain America was super fucking cheesy.
And to be fair, both of them are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
There are certain arcs of Captain America in the comics that are incredible. There are certain arcs of Superman that are incredible. And even with Man of Steel, I think is a very flawed film. I just think it's the best Superman film we have.
Yeah, I will co-sign that 100%. Speaking of Captain America arcs that are awesome, I'm about ready, now that we're getting into the mystical and the magic and shit, I want werewolf Captain America.
Yes, absolutely.
Give me werewolf.
Captain America action figure.
Oh, that shit was weird, bro. That was weird.
We should just do Marvel Zombies. Just go hard R, do all zombies.
Yes. Dude, Zombie Hulk would be terrifying.
Oh, dude, that's the worst. Think about how many just superheroes in general with zombies would be just terrifying.
Yeah. Yep. As long as they could keep their powers, because, I mean, they have them in the comic books, right? Like Wolverine, obviously.
I've actually never read Marvel Zombies. I own it, and I've never read it.
Really? I was just showing, we got a little show and tell here. I was just showing Caleb this book before we started recording.
I'll reach into my random comics and see what I pull out.
Yeah.
Again.
So I've got the entire Executioner Song arc in a hardback. Let's see what Caleb's probably going to pull out, some fucking X-Men issue 5 or something. But it's sweet. It's got all of the comic books and their covers in it. Let's see what Caleb's got.
Tells to Astonish.
Nice.
This isn't I do have it there, but this isn't the Ant-Man versus Hulk issue that I thought it was. But
that's pretty sweet, though.
I created an Instagram. I plan on eventually uploading pictures of comics.
Oh, yeah? Dude, that would be super cool.
First appearance of Abomination right here.
Abomination. Oh, Abomination, excuse me. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Holy crap.
Yeah, my comic collection's on point, man.
No shit. Yeah, I don't have any more around me.
Yeah, my stuff's all Marvel, too. I don't actually own any DC.
I've got a couple Batman comics.
I'm open to DC, is because I'm not a big fanboy of DC. I love Batman, which I think DCEU turned every character into Batman. MCU turned every character into Spider-Man.
Yeah, I can dig it. I mean, I would say, yeah, I see what you mean. Point taken. I feel like because of the success of Iron Man, they made all of the future characters just seem like a little bit like Tony.
I would agree with that. Like Star-Lord and Tony Stark are the same character.
Yeah, pretty much. They all kind of are, There's a slight variation in each of them, and they all do very good with their performances. But yeah, Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, and who'd you just say? Star-Lord, yeah, very, very similar characters.
Even Thor turned into that character.
Yeah, but Thor, that's my boy, dude.
He's a little...
he's dumber, dude. I like that shit.
I actually do think Chris Hemsworth's comedic timing is incredible.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah.
Even the really bad Ghostbuster movie, he's great in it.
Yes.
Like, the rest of the movie's bad, but he's good.
Yeah, that shit, man. That was grim, too. I feel like that was, like, Coming to America levels of disappointment.
It was pretty bad. Still not as bad as Coming to America, too.
Oh, shoot. The hot takes just keep coming. Game of Thrones prequel actress, Lily, what's her name? Olivia Cook, who I actually really like. She was in Thoroughbreds with Anya Taylor-Joy. She was also the girl in Ready Player One. She's going to be the star actress of the prequels, which is House of the Dragon. She says in this headline, according to Fox News, that it will not depict gratuitous violence against women. Takes place 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones. Obviously, you can't just counter that headline and be like, no, actually, it should have gratuitous violence against women in the show. But what do you didn't like watch Game of Thrones, but
isn't it a lot of gratuitous violence in general?
Yeah,
like cutting off dicks and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing about it. Is we're getting to a place where society is having such a profound impact on art, and and it can be great. There are things that we've seen that have been complete net positives out of it. You know, there's a big movement in society for more representation and equality and all these things that I think are good. But what I find happens, in particular, there was a show called Confederate that was supposed to come on HBO that was actually Benioff and Weiss, the creators of Game of Thrones, and it was boycotted and canceled before it was released. And I don't mean like it was canceled, like they
no, actually canceled,
took the fucking show off. Yeah, right. Because it depicted slavery. And my thing is, just because something is in a movie doesn't mean that it's endorsing the thing that's in it.
Just because depiction is not endorsement. Those are two different things. Without seeing Confederate or whatever it was called, Confederacy, I'm assuming it probably wasn't pro-slavery. I'm assuming.
Right. You
know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would assume. To me, that would be like canceling Schindler's List because there's Nazis in it. It's like, well, did you watch the movie? It's a great piece of film that is anti-Nazi.
And somebody could see a promotional image and be like, oh, swastika, that's offensive. That's insensitive. Do you realize how many people died under the Nazi regime? And you know, I understand how it could stir up some shit emotionally, and the same with the violence and with women and stuff. But I also, I kind of come down on the side of, it's not like Game of Thrones is from an actual time in history, but there was a time in history in this kind of classist societies where everything was about blood and, you know, pillaging and conquering other territories. It's that it was very
by like medieval times. I'm assuming,
yes.
You know, even though it's in fantasy. Well, there's also the other side of it where, as women rise more to main character roles, especially more traditionally quote unquote masculine roles as like heroes and they become heroines, they have to face adversity and violence. That's what the point of the story is.
Yes.
So as women get more equal in film, there's going to be more bad stuff happening to them, because as they become heroes, that's what happens to heroes. They have adversity, have horrible things happen to them that they have to overcome.
That's a really good point, Caleb. I like the way that you said that, and I agree. I guess the only last button I'll put on this is you don't have to show graphic violence against women. It can be implied. It doesn't have to be on screen. I just don't want to think that they're going to like put so much of society into the story. Like, let entertainment and art be entertainment and art, and if it isn't for you, then fucking it isn't for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that isn't for me. Honestly, violence against women is something I can't watch, you know, in film, or like rape scenes. I can't watch them.
That's also a good point, is violence and sexual violence are two different things, and I think the most critique of Game of Thrones was because of the sexual violence specifically.
See, and that's something for me personally, I can't watch. Like, I just cannot do it. You know, as a husband, as now a father to a little girl, like, I just emotionally, I can't do it.
I get it.
I know that. I don't want to take it off TV. I just know it's not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, that's commendable. I think that everybody's threshold is going to be different. There is a part of me, like, there's a movie called Revenge that came out a couple years back. I mean, it's a female director, written by this, I can't remember what her name is right now, but she's a French filmmaker, and it's you know, one of those like rape revenge movies. Like, it's a whole subgenre.
Grave and all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't watch any of those. I've tried. My wife watched them, and I had to leave the room. She's like, "Oh, I'm watching." I'm like, "I can't. I physically cannot. I'm gonna go play a video game in the other room." Like,
I don't blame you.
It just bothers me.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's understandable. Patrick, I see your comment, and I would like to say yes, 100% for sure. We've talked about it. That's that much I do know. So if you guys do want to check out a weekly recap show for Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe hit him up on social media. Let's put his feet to the fire. See if that works out. All right, we'll move on from the Game of Thrones thing because we do have a couple more topics to get to. This is one that I'm not sure if I'm excited about, Caleb. According to Collider, Bruce Campbell confirms Evil Dead Rise will start filming this year.
How are you not excited for this? This was the thing I was most excited to talk about tonight.
Why?
Because it's more Evil Dead. You know, like, Did you watch Ash versus Evil Dead, the show?
I did.
First season's by far the best. It does get worse, but it's still incredible. I put Ash versus Evil Dead, for me personally, one of my favorite shows
Oh wow.
of all time. Yeah, like I absolutely. I also put the Evil Dead 2 as one of my favorite films of all time. Like I'm talking at least top 20. Like it's. I think that movie is absolutely brilliant. I can't get enough of it. Um, Anytime I get more Ash, I'm there. Sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce Campbell is absolutely the most appealing part of this story. I just kind of feel, to your point about the series, is like what makes this dramatically different from another season of Ash versus Evil Dead. I mean, Sam Raimi, I guess, is the answer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and plus, just I mean, that show got canceled, so they're just doing what they can.
I see. I didn't realize that it was canceled.
Yeah, it's canceled, so that's why I'm excited because I'm like, oh, we're never. I was like, okay, cool run, we're never getting any more, and now I'm like, okay, we're getting a little bit more. Hopefully, this is just to kind of ribbon and wrap it up though, because I don't think we're gonna get something else after this.
It says, this is a quote, "We're going to have a heroine, a woman in charge, and she's going to try and save her family. The main key with Evil Dead is they're just regular people who are battling what seems to be a very unstoppable evil, and so that's where the horror comes from. It's not someone who's skilled. They're not fighting a soldier or a scientist. They're not fighting anybody more than your average neighbor. This one is going to be a similar thing." I like the idea of that.
Yeah, I like it. So it sounds like it's gonna be like a passing the torch film.
And I'm mistaken, the director who wrote it is Lee Cronin, and his first feature was The Hole in the Ground, which I didn't see, but I've heard good things about it.
That's that A24 film, horror film.
Yes. Did you see
Yeah,
it?
I haven't seen it. No,
We
I
need to
own
watch
it, but I
that.
haven't watched it.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
It feels right up our alley, like something that I would probably like, and I think you might as well.
Yeah, I should watch it because I own it. So
Well, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what they do with it. I saw somebody in the chat mention the Evil Dead remake by Fede Alvarez. Did you see that?
So I saw it in theaters when it came out, and I didn't like it at the time. In fact, I really didn't like it. But I don't hold that opinion now because I honestly don't remember it well enough to be like, oh, I hate that movie. It's one I need to go back and revisit because I could have just been being too big of a fanboy and just been a little crybaby about it.
Yeah.
So I actually need to go back and rewatch it.
I enjoy it. It's definitely a different kind of movie while still being almost exactly the same movie. I mean, it's definitely a remake.
Like tongue-in-cheek, is it?
No, but the violence is so brutal and visceral that it all, like, laughing is almost the only thing you can do when dudes get. And you remember the Deadites got the nail gun and she's shooting him and it's like hitting him in the arms. Yeah.
That's honestly all I remember about that movie.
Yeah, I like
I just
it.
remember it not being funny enough, and that was my thing. I was like, it's not that funny.
It's like
But I
Evil
need to
Dead
go
1
back
in
and
that way. Because Evil Dead's
I
not
don't
very
like-
funny.
I don't like the first Evil Dead.
I don't.
Evil Dead. You skip it because Evil Dead 2 is pretty much a remake of Evil
Yes.
Dead 1. Just skip Evil Dead 1.
So you prefer Evil Dead 2 to Army of Darkness?
Yes, absolutely.
I just feel like Ash became Ash, the one that we know and love in Army of Darkness.
So I actually saw that movie when it came out in a drive-in theater.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I was way too young to watch this. I didn't watch it all though because we went to see Congo and that or something. I think it was like two of those films where it was a double feature with my grandpa, and we watched like half of it and it scared the crap out of me as a kid. And then I went back when I was like 14 and watched Evil Dead 2, and I was like, this is brilliant. And Army of Darkness, and I was like, this is such a brilliant thing. But when I was like 5, it was terrifying.
Yeah. You weren't getting the jokes at that time. I saw
No.
Army of Darkness in the theater as well.
Yeah, did you finish the whole movie?
Yeah. I got an early start. I got an early start. I was in that Puppet Master video that's on the channel. I mentioned that it was 1989 when the first Puppet Master was released to VHS at your local video store, and I saw it then. So I was 7 years old when I saw the first Puppet Master, and
Yeah, I was probably about the same age.
I don't think there was ever a time that I wasn't watching horror movies. I know that like Lost Boys was one that was like on an endless loop at my house when I was a child.
Well, that's funny. I was just having this conversation with my wife. I was like, our daughter's going to grow up the same way because she's already seeing like horror films as a little kid, and I'm like, you know what, but that's fine. Like, I'm fine. I'm a well-adjusted adult. I know it's make believe. You know what I mean? And I never was that kid. I'm sure you were this way. Did you ever have those kids that would come over and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't watch that. That's too scary," or freak them out? And we're like, "Dude, you're like 10. Chill out." I was that kid.
There were a couple ones that really did freak me out. There was a movie called H.P. Lovecraft's The Unnameable, and it fucked me up. I was staying over at my buddy's house, and I remember calling my mom at like 1 o'clock in the morning to have her come pick me up because I was just freaked out by it, which is, I don't know, it's not a good movie. I mean, I've went back and rewatched it since then. It's definitely not scary, but you know how it is.
I probably saw Pumpkinhead when I was like 7 or 8 years old. I don't know, it couldn't even been that old because my grandpa probably died around then, and that was before that. And it scared the living crap out of me.
That one was scary. I saw that one as a kid too, because I remember seeing a poster on the window of the video store and being like, that one right there. Because I would get movies depending on how cool the monster on the box looked.
Oh, absolutely.
That's like what it was all about.
No, I thank my grandpa. My grandpa was a big part of the reason I got into cinema, because he was a movie buff and we would watch stuff that was way too inappropriate. And he died when I was in like, I don't know, like 3rd grade. So,
oh, wow.
And I started watching horror films real young.
Drock Angel, Hellraiser 2, and Nightmare on Elm Street 3 for me as a kid. Both very strong choices. I like Hellbound quite a bit, and Dream Warriors as well. I always love to see horror fans in the chat. I feel like that just speaks directly to my heart. I definitely love a bad horror movie.
I would say you and me are probably, more than anything, horror and sci-fi is probably what we're the most obsessed with.
Yeah. And that's why I love when people say like, oh, you didn't like Man of Steel because you didn't get the sci-fi element of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what you're going to go with?
Yeah. Well, the big sci-fi nerds.
Yeah. Have you guys seen It Follows? It's a modern classic.
So my story, I actually need to go read back. So my experience with It Follows is I was partying in downtown Seattle. I was really drunk, and I decided to go watch It Follows and eat way too much popcorn. And then fall asleep in the middle of the movie and wake back up. So I've quote unquote seen it, but I don't know if I've actually seen it.
I like it a lot. I'm a little bit of a contrarian. You guys probably know that about me. I felt that while it was very good, I wasn't so sure why people were heralding it as like the second coming of great horror from John Carpenter or something, but it's good. I shouldn't diminish it at all. It's very good.
The score being really good. If that's like the one, if I'm correct, that's the one thing I kind of remember from my drunken haze is having really good music.
There was another one that is actually a very good film that it was just a little bit of the hype ahead of time, but the Vavitch, man, I was like, you love it?
Yeah, but I also didn't like hear any of the hype before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of my, the Netflix show that everyone loves, Stranger Things. I had that so hyped up for me, and that I just like, it's good, but I don't even think I finished the first season. I was like, oh, this is good. But sometimes when someone hypes up something so much and then you see it, it kind of ruins it for you.
Yeah. It's that expectation thing. You know, you go in expecting one thing, and then I don't know. It sets the bar super freaking high. So I can understand like where people have that kind of reaction. Like they go and watch Citizen Kane and they're like, what the fuck was that about? You know, how's that the best movie ever made?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely like we've had the Predator remake of the new Predator conversation. I went in going, okay, this is going to be a mess and I'm gonna have a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it because that's exactly what I got. You went in with a different mindset and you hated it, you know? And
yeah.
So going in, how you go into a film can drastically affect it.
Absolutely. So last movie news story before we switch into some of the Patreon topics, but I just now saw literally right before we started streaming that Michael B. Jordan is going to be directing Creed 3.
Still haven't seen Creed 1. I know I'm one of those people.
It's his directorial debut. He starred in both of the other ones, obviously. Let's see. His big moment was spoiled by his on-screen leading lady Tessa Thompson as a throwaway in an online interview, but most knew this was in the cards for several years since Irwin Winkler, producer of the original Rocky films and the Creed spinoff, revealed that Jordan was going to be a director of the third film. So apparently they've talked about it for a while. Ryan Coogler did the first one. It's fucking fantastic. Creed 2 was not directed by Ryan Coogler. I don't remember who it was that directed it, but it was good. But I don't know, man. There's something about Michael B. Jordan that makes me feel like he's gonna crush this.
I don't know. My only thing is him as a producer on Fahrenheit 451, and if that's not setting the bar real high.
I didn't see that.
It's rough. It's as bad as everyone says it is. I thought it was gonna be one of those movies where I'm like, yeah, people are crybabies. It's not that bad. It's that bad.
Producers, though, that's kind of like bringing a known commodity into a project, like a vanity credit. You know what I'm talking about?
100%. It's like when people go, what's the guy who produces everything from Platinum Dunes? Why can't I not think of his name?
Bay?
Yeah, we feel like he's a producer on this. I'm like, he's a producer on everything. You know, A Quiet Place, producer. He's a producer on everything.
Anchor Bay, Platinum Dunes. I think Michael Bay has to do with both those. I think he's definitely Anchor Bay because his name, but I feel like Platinum Dunes was him too. Maybe not.
I think he's just Platinum Dunes. Ryan Coogler, did you ever see Fruitvale Station?
Yeah.
Him and Michael B. Jordan? Incredible film.
So good.
Incredible film.
Yeah, I think
definitely for me his best film by a mile.
There's not a lot to choose from. I think you'll like Creed, but it really does come down to the question of like, do you like sports movies, you know?
Well, I love combat sports, so that's the only sport I care about.
Yeah. I don't care for sports all that much, just like watching them, but I love a good sports movie. I think that can be so fucking good.
Yeah, I think it's really just a story about overcoming obstacles and living up to your potential.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's universal.
Yeah, you can relate to that whether you like sports or not.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing violence depicted in boxing movies, you know? Just tone it down.
Just tone it down a little bit. I still am waiting for an incredible MMA movie.
Isn't Warrior good?
It's good, but it's not like incredible. It's good.
Wait, what about the other one you saw? The prison one in Thailand.
It's about Thai boxing.
Okay, that's not MMA, that's Muay Thai.
Yeah. That's an incredible film.
You know, my first frame of reference. Yeah, that's right. And there's actually a review here on the channel if you guys want to check that out. It was Kayla's Movie Corner. One of 3.
Back to that once I get something set up where I can actually start doing shit again.
Oh, Mark just watched Creed 2 last week. Yeah, it is. I think it's good. I enjoyed it. Both Creed movies, in the third act, I fucking was on my feet, which is not something that typically happens in a movie theater. Like, I was just, I don't know. Next thing I know, I'm like standing up, like, yeah, nobody else is doing it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit back down. Yeah, dude, it was dope. Both very good movies. So, hey, what's up, Chris M? Welcome to the conversation, man. You can play it and playback. You can watch it and playback. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, what's up, Paul Childers? First. I don't know if that's accurate. We've been streaming for an hour and 15 minutes.
He's the first at the hour and 15-minute mark. So
correct. Yes, first person to do that exactly at that moment.
At that moment.
All right. Well, good shit. I think that's about all of the movie news that we've got. Except for this is a Patreon topic. And this is also the whole thumbnail of the video. So we'll spend a minute talking about this because, first of all, Disney Plus just now passed 100 million paid subscribers.
That's crazy. It's not shocking now they got into original content.
I mean, I think it took Netflix 10 years to get to that 100 million mark.
Yeah, but it's also because they were 10 years prior. They were the birth of this.
Yeah. Wait, elaborate. What do you mean?
They were the birth of the streaming thing. So, yeah, it took them longer to get there, you know?
because people were just catching on to the idea of a streaming service in the first place. Okay.
Yeah, think about how many people were streaming 10 years ago as compared to now.
No, Paul, I'm not calling you a liar. Totally, Caleb said that. He implied it. You know what I mean? I was just picking up what he was putting down. No, dude, definitely not calling you a liar. I'm not calling. King of the Hill says I'm not calling you a truther. So I think it's impressive. Point taken. I agree with you. You're right.
Very impressive.
I was very much in the camp of there's no way in hell that Disney Plus is ever going to catch up with Netflix. Seeing this now, what do you think? I think they got 3.5.
Yeah, I think as long as they keep doing original content, I mean, that Marvel and Star Wars fan base is big, and that's really what they're subscribing for. This is realistically, it's kids film, but that's not really what it is. Disney Plus is the Marvel Star Wars streaming service.
And now they're just it's like they're cranking them out. It's like an assembly line of either Marvel or Star Wars or both going on simultaneously at any given time. But to kind of build on that point, do those fans already have Disney Plus?
Yeah, but I mean, marketing dollars do a lot, and Disney has endless pockets. They have very deep pockets. So I think absolutely will continue to grow.
Yeah, I would be just because it had such a strong launch, and because WandaVision is the most streamed show of all. I think Bridgerton was going to be Bridgerton was Netflix's most streamed series of all time, which I hadn't watched any of that. But WandaVision beat it. So WandaVision is the most streamed series of all time. I just wonder how many Marvel fans / Star Wars fans are out there right now that don't already have it.
So did it pass Attack on Titan then?
Oh, that's a very good question. Let's see.
Attack on Titan was crushing WandaVision.
I meant to. I should have put a huge disclaimer on that in January.
Original? Okay.
It was a month, you know.
Yeah. Mark McKeever has a great thing. He believes both the business model and the number of subs wouldn't have happened if COVID-19 didn't happen.
Yeah.
Very, very good point.
And Mickey Mouse is counting his lucky stars about that bat that he fucked with Randy Marsh.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was the
They're
best.
having a vaccine special coming up soon.
Oh, good.
I cannot wait to watch it.
That last one was so on point. The pandemic special.
So good.
Patrick Stewart in the chat. No, dude, it's still freaking potent satire, and it's been going for like 20 years. Mm-hmm. Paul says, I think Netflix is growing more worldwide than Disney. A lot of diversity on Netflix. I do agree with that as well.
I personally think Netflix has 10 times the quality content, personally. And I'm not even a big Netflix guy. Like, I don't watch a ton of Netflix. There's just so much. The difference is you will never get me to subscribe to Disney Plus. Not going to happen. You know, I pay for Hulu and ESPN Plus out of my own pocket.
You probably would save money to get Disney.
No, I would pay like $3 more a month. And Disney Plus for me is not worth $3 a month. It just isn't. But the thing is, you and me can both watch shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
With vastly different tastes.
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm canceling my Netflix so I can have your password.
Okay, that's what we should do. So in my recommended, it's all just foreign film. That's all it is.
I believe that. A bunch of fucking Asian zombie movies.
I watched the first episode of Pacific Rim. Totally forgot to talk about it.
Wow.
Anime series.
Yeah.
It's all right. It does the same thing that and this is just a weird pet peeve of mine, so take it with a huge grain of salt. It does the same thing that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse does, where it plays with frame rates.
Okay.
In a very weird way. Like some shots will be on 2s, some shots will be on 1s, some shots will be on 4s. So anytime they're in the mechs, it's smooth frame rate. But then they try to emulate, because the characters are computer animated, but they try to emulate that choppy anime style. and it makes me, is maybe it's just like a big video game head, it makes me nauseous. My eye instantly notices the difference in frame rate. And it's like that scene in Spider-Man where there's Peter Parker's spot swinging and Miles Morales', and they're both going different frame rates, which I get artistically super cool. Hey, the guy who is more experienced is a smoother frame rate, and the guy who's inexperienced is a choppier
It's a
frame rate.
cool idea.
Super cool idea. Makes me feel like I'm going to puke when I watch it.
That sucks.
Pacific Rim does the same thing.
That's not fun. I'm looking at some of the kaiju designs, and I like the animation style. It's very much reminds me of that Godzilla anime trilogy that just came out not too long ago. There's actually another Godzilla anime coming out called Godzilla Singular Point, I believe.
I like that Godzilla anime. Like, it wasn't great, but it was Godzilla.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it as well. It was definitely I'd say it was like a weird Godzilla story, but I've seen, I think, all of the Godzilla ones, and they're all so fucking weird, dude. All of them.
It is a very different Godzilla story. Very different. But like you said, they're all so different.
Uh-huh. Yeah, from one to the next. I mean, like, Final War could not be more different from Godzilla versus Destroyer or some shit.
Yeah, they're all completely different.
I like this. Chris M. Quality. I scroll through Netflix for like an hour and can't find something worth watching. So much filler content to boost their total and totals numbers. 100% agree. I think that's systematic or symptomatic of all streaming services.
Here's my thing is, I do agree that there is a lot of garbage on Netflix. 100% agree with that. There's just so much content that there's also more good stuff. But you do have to dig through it. I'm like, my brother came over to my house and he's like, dude, your Netflix feed is awesome. He's like, what is this movie? What's this movie? I'm like, yeah, I don't just watch blockbusters and get recommended Netflix original action movies because those suck. Those are bad movies.
Yeah. Connor wants to know which we're looking forward to the most next week. Connor, I think you could probably guess the answer. Are you looking forward to Snyder's Justice League or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Caleb?
Easy. Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah. And I'm on the other side. I'm very much, okay. I'm actually more curious and more interested in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think we know what we're getting from Marvel, and it's going to be very good. And it's
going to be more Marvel.
Yeah. And
I don't mean that as a knock either. I'm just saying it's going to be more. You know what you're getting. And
the same could be said about Zack Snyder's filmography, other than the fact that this is just it's just so different. I mean, he's never stepped away from a production, had the insight of foresight to listen to the criticisms and kind of retcon and reconfigure his own vision and come back and prove that. So I think it's cool.
I will make a prediction now. I'm going to like it. You're not going to.
Probably accurate. What's up, McLovin?
You're going to get a Zack Snyder film.
McLovin, what bad movie did you just now watch? Oh, MN Comic Books in the chat. Connor Stork in the chat. You guys are the best. Let's see. So we talked a little bit about them passing 100 million paid subscribers. There was
crazy. Good for them.
There was a call that it was like an investors meeting, and they were doing a conference call with all of the big wigs and shareholders at Disney, and one of them just flat out asked Bob Chapek, which is the CEO of Disney, is Kathleen Kennedy going to be replaced by Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau, both who have been building out Disney Plus, Star Wars realm with shows like The Mandalorian and the upcoming The Book of Boba Fett. Taken aback, he responded, "We've been absolutely thrilled that we can have the kind of talent like Kathy Kennedy to direct Lucasfilm. We're looking forward to having Kathleen Kennedy running the Lucasfilm organization for many years to come." How does that hit you?
I mean, why would they change it? They're printing money over there.
Yeah.
It would be like changing Kevin Feige for Marvel. Why would you do that? You're printing money at these places.
It's, yeah, I guess it does kind of show the disparity between the internet culture of kind of toxic fandom on all sides, whether we're talking about DC, Marvel, fucking Star Wars. There's always a backlash to everything. I did feel that Star Wars fans in general are Star Wars fans in general are Star Wars fans, but there is a large percentage. There is a large group, a small percentage of people who went from just loving everything Star Wars to now they hate Star Wars. It's an interesting thing, kind of similar to what happened at the end of Game of Thrones, but I didn't know if that loud, amplified voice online was going to affect their business decisions. But you're right.
Well, and here's another thing too. Star Wars and Marvel have out. Okay, I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. No one cares about Star Wars fans or Marvel fans. It has grown beyond the point of nerds. So we have a lot of angry nerds on the internet, but that's not who makes it. Like, it's the same thing with video games. Like, you know, I don't know a single diehard gamer who even plays a sports game. They sell like crazy every year. I know a lot of hardcore gamers hate Call of Duty. They sell every year.
Yeah.
Marvel and Star Wars has grown so far beyond nerd culture. They could care less if nerd culture boycotted them because they have mainstream culture.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. That's absolutely right. I thought maybe Solo, a Star Wars story, might have, it probably did cause some volatility behind the scenes of just like, oh fuck, what are we gonna do now? But at the end of the day, the sequel trilogies all did gangbusters. Mandalorian happened under Kathleen Kennedy's oversight, and it's been incredibly successful. Connor, just so you know, you said that was fucking hilarious. I'm in the minority, but I like the sequel trilogy, especially The Last Jedi, and don't mind Kennedy so far. But I mean, do people actually expect them to just fire her? LOL. Connor, I co-sign that entire statement, other than I didn't like Rise of Skywalker very much.
I was just kind of curious to see Solo, how much it made.
Check that out. Chris M says, why would they change it? If they're eventually going to lose money, I mean, I know Star Wars is a cash cow, but people are going to get more and more skeptical and then stop going. Possibly,
but I've been saying the same thing about superhero fatigue, and I was crazy wrong about it.
We've been saying it for years now. Yep.
Because I have superhero fatigue, but again, I'm in the minority. They don't care, They're making a ton of money, and it's growing year after year, and Star Wars is going to grow year after year. I know people who've never really watched Star Wars until recently, and now are just happy to go to the theater and take a selfie in front of a Star Wars poster because it's like the thing to do.
Patrick,
that's where Star Wars is at now.
Thanks for the vibes, buddy. $1.99 super chat from Patrick Stewart. Very much appreciated. Always a pleasure to hang out with you for a little bit. Connor says, I used to really hate Rise of Skywalker, but honestly, it's grown on me in the past year or so. I'm not too sure why, but for whatever reason, that's just the case. Hey, dude, no disrespect for that. If you love it, I love it. I love that you love it. Anyways, McLovin with the 22 kroners. Bad Times at the El Royale sucked, like Godzilla. I like Bad Times at the El Royale.
I love Bad Times at El Royale. Loved it.
And McLovin has got fantastic taste in movies. Like, if you check out My Name is McLovin on Instagram, he does really good write-ups. He featured Denis Villeneuve on his top 10 list of favorite directors.
I'm going to follow him
yesterday.
Right now on Instagram, since I don't follow anyone because I just created it. I am McLovin.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. And I don't appreciate the disrespect to Godzilla, but you know that. Godzilla is the greatest franchise of all time. Right there with Puppet Master and fucking, what other trash I like? Subspecies. Oops.
Well, I will have you send me I'm McLovin because there's a ton of different I'm McLovin.
My computer just did something wonky.
Oh, man. Did we just lose everything? Yep.
Really?
Green screen.
And are we back?
Looks like we're back.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that, you guys. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there for just a moment. I really thought it was all just going down. Let's see. So, okay, take the business aspect out of it. Do you think Kathleen Kennedy is shepherding Star Wars in a direction that you feel is good or bad, or what do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think they're particularly good films, personally. It seems like there's the exact opposite problem that Marvel's having. I feel like Marvel's a little too structured. Star Wars feels like there's just no structure. It's like they're making a movie and then they're just remaking it, throwing stuff out, redoing that, and it seems like there's just no structure at all.
What's your Instagram handle?
I think it's Caleb is terrible.
Yes, Caleb is terrible. McLovin, there you go.
Yeah,
You guys make sure to head over there and check out his Instagram.
I have a total of 2 pictures, so it's pretty exciting stuff.
But you do some good artwork, and you said you're going to start posting some more.
Yeah, I need to start.
Velocipaster, yes, I've seen that one. Let's see. In comic books in the chat. What's up, dude? Long Nady 80, FBI hacking in now. Oh no. Those 3 movies felt like different directors, and they shouldn't. I believe you mean in regards to the sequel trilogy, and yeah, I agree. I
100% spot on.
And what's funny is, and I don't know what your perspective on this is, Connor, but I felt like Rian Johnson came in and was kind of just like, I know what you're expecting, but fuck all that. I'm going to do what I want to do. And to me, that's my language. That's that shit to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do agree with that, but I feel like it hurt it more than it helped it.
You're right.
I agree. I love, as I always say, I love risk takers in film, but it was very it just created this weird disjointed film. And then by the time it got to the 3rd film, it was such a mess. I was shocked how bad it was, because you had one director undoing another director's work, and then him coming back and undoing that film.
Yeah.
So you had 2 films in a trilogy that were undoing the previous film.
Yep.
Which is unacceptable.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. As its own film, I felt like it succeeded in many ways and failed in others. As part of a trilogy that was supposed to move the story forward and advance it so that everything felt like it was cohesive, totally ruined that. I liked Rogue One a lot. How did you feel about Rogue One?
Still haven't seen it.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to assume either way, but it's one of my favorites of the sequel movies of the Disney.
My older brother, who is, for me, the biggest Star Wars fan I've ever known, reads all the books, everything, he's one of those guys. He swears by Rogue One, and he swears by The Mandalorian. So I trust his opinion on those, because I know how big of a fan he is.
And how does he feel? Have you talked to him about Kathleen Kennedy specifically?
Oh, he hates her with a passion. He's one of those fans who, with a passion, hates her.
Yeah. I don't have any ill will. Obviously, I don't know the fucking woman, but I think her filmography is impressive. She was a producer on the Indiana Jones trilogy. She's got some amazing credits under her career, and she's produced some of the greatest blockbuster movies of our generation. So
Really?
yeah. Oh yeah. No disrespect to Kathleen Kennedy. Her resume is impeccable. And I understand why people have issues, because a lot of these things are happening under her watch, but I don't know how much of the blame she can shoulder for creative decisions. I don't know that she's in the writer's room. I'm sure she signs off on everything, but unless she's a diehard fucking fan that consumes all of the lore, she's probably just yeah, sounds good, Ewoks or whatever. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm just looking at her filmography of what she literally every blockbuster.
I mean, dude, for those of you guys that don't know, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Twilight Zone, E.T., Poltergeist, The Goonies, Back to the Future, The Color Purple, American Tale, yeah, Empire of the Sun, Batteries Not Included. I mean, just everything. Arachnophobia.
Yeah, literally everything.
Yeah, very impressive. Schindler's List. Yeah, you said a bunch of these. It's amazing. It's amazing. So yeah,
it's rather impressive.
I think to look at her last 3 or 4 movies or 5 movies or whatever and be she sucks. It's dude, she is responsible for so many of the things that we revere in pop culture.
She's actually it would make more sense for me, because I don't like a lot of like that blockbuster stuff, but like she's behind a lot of that, like, and she's making more blockbusters. Makes sense.
Long Maybe 80 says Kathleen is in the writer's room. Per Ryan Johnson, Kathleen was in the writer's room changing his story. She wrote episode 8. All right. I can't speak to that. I mean, I guess I can look at it real quick. What did she write? Even if her name's not in the credits, I don't suppose that actually proves anything. But
because she could be in the writer's room, puppeteering the whole thing.
Yeah. We have a tendency to fucking kill our idols. I mean, even George Lucas, like if people love Star Wars so much, then why did he end up selling it to Disney in the first place instead of continue on making movies? Because the shitty part of the fandom fucking ran him off,
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. They felt like they had more ownership than the man who created it.
Yeah. And maybe we do. I mean, there's a conversation to be had there, I suppose, but I don't know. Actually, I guess there's not. I mean, he literally owned it.
He created it. No, it's his baby over at ours.
Caleb, let me live my truth, bro.
Around and I eat Cheetos and drink chocolate milk. He created it.
Oh man, Cheetos and chocolate milk—that's a mix right there.
That's the shit. Spicy hot. This is why I used to be 400 pounds. Spicy hot flaming hot Cheetos and chocolate milk.
Dude, what if you just took Cheeto dust and stirred it into fucking whole milk?
Little man.
Oh shit. All right. Well, so that's not the end of this. We can continue on this conversation because there is a lot of Star Wars stuff going on. And by the way, while I'm thinking about it, if you want to have your topics discussed in any sort of detail here on the Movies Are Terrible Live podcast, then all you got to do is head over, take a look at the Patreon page, become a Patreon supporter at any tier, and you can have your questions featured on upcoming episodes of the show. Because, I mean, come on, that's what we all really want, right? That's what I want. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone. Thank you, Caleb.
That's the goals in life.
Immin Comic Book says, if you put Cheeto dust in your milk, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I would agree with that, and I'm a horrible person, so I might try it.
All right. So yeah, there's a bunch of Disney Plus Star Wars shows coming out. And so there's a feature that's going to be directed by Taika Waititi. There's a feature that's going to be directed by Patty Jenkins, set for a release around 2023. Holy shit, that's a long time. But there's more action than happening on the small screen in the Star Wars universe. Obviously, The Mandalorian just happened, and there is a season 3 coming. Andor, this is Cassian Andor, which is the lead character, well, secondary lead in Rogue One, kind of a rogue, a little bit of a anti-hero character. I'm sure you don't care much about that one. But then there's an Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out, and you know Obi-Wan. What do you think about that?
Is it actually going to star?
Yeah.
I can't. His name. It is him.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I mean, I think it's cool. Will I watch it? Probably not. I'm with Star Wars where I am with superheroes. I'm just kind of burnt. But I think it's super cool. I think it's something that actually I would be interested in a story. That and actually The Mandalorian is something I am interested because it's not a main cast story.
I love the fact that they're bringing Hayden Christensen back. Not even that I'm a fan of his acting, but the fact that he's getting an opportunity to come in and have some, talented directors that maybe, care about performances.
Yeah, someone that wasn't just really caught up on the blue screen.
Yeah, yes. So Lucasfilm finally confirmed it was developing an Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series with Ewan McGregor reprising his role from the sequels. It takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith and prior to the events of A New Hope. And Hayden Christensen will be returning to play Darth Vader.
I still think that's weird that he's returning if he's just going to be in the suit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not who I think of when I think of Darth Vader. I don't think of Hayden Christensen. I think of him as Anakin.
But do you think of David Prowse or do you think of James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones.
Even though David Prowse was the one in the suit.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Unless it's just flashbacks that they show with him, then that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, similarly, though, Pedro Pascal playing the Mandalorian himself never took his helmet off until he did. But for a long time, he didn't.
Yeah, but that's like a new character. You know what I mean?
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's totally makes sense. Okay, that's cool. I don't know. It's cool, but I'm like I don't understand the point of it.
Were you a Rebels or a Clone Wars fan?
Loved Clone Wars. Never saw Rebels, but I loved Clone Wars.
There is Ahsoka Tano starring Rosario Dawson series coming out.
Because she in Mandalorian, right?
She is, and she's fucking rad.
Yeah, no, I saw that and I'm like, she looks just like her come to life. Like it's perfect.
That was my introduction to the character. I mean, I've seen her, on posters or whatnot. I didn't even see the Clone Wars movie that came out several years ago that Lucas did.
You never saw the Attack of the Clones?
I saw there was an animated Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, the 2D animated one, and then there was a 3D animated one. I saw them both in theater opening day.
And then there was a movie.
Live action?
No, I'm sorry, feature length Clone Wars.
That started off the show. Yep, I saw
that. Okay. That was the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I'm super for Obi-Wan and Ahsoka Tano. I think those will be cool. Then there's Rangers of the New Republic, which is a second Mandalorian spinoff, and it's set along the timeline of the Mandalorian. No concrete details, but probably going to revolve around the Sector Rangers, a sort of intergalactic police force that was established by the Galactic Republic.
Super cool sounding. That's the stuff that interests me more. Because I've said this, one of my biggest complaints with Star Wars is the universe, instead of expanding, has collapsed in on itself.
I think that's a great criticism and 100% valid.
And I'm excited about it expanding out again, because the expanding universe stuff has always been super interesting. And then we kind of shrunk it back. It's like, no, it's only about this one family.
Star Wars The Bad Batch, new animated series brought to life by David Filoni, who shepherded Clone Wars as well as Rebels.
Worst name. Every time I see that, I think it says Star Wars The Bad Bitch. Every time I see that logo.
I don't know about that one. That's where I start to kind of check out is the animated ones. And I hear they're good, and I believe that they're good. It's just that we kind of got to we've only got so much time in our lives. What are you going to spend it on? And that's going to bring back to my final point about all this. Then there's one called The Acolyte. Russian Doll creator, showrunner, Leslie Headland, which I love Russian Doll, by the way, on Netflix. She's going to showrun a new series that takes place in a different part of the Star Wars timeline. This series is described as a mystery thriller called The Acolyte and will be led by a female character set in the final days of the High Republic era. The story takes viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers. I love that synopsis.
That is super. So I love the politics side. I know I'm in the minority. I love political drama set in space. Awesome. I could sit around and watch that for hours. That's by far the most interesting thing on the list.
I agree, and I'm just kind of concerned about how many episodes it's going to be before somebody busts out a lightsaber and you're actually Luke Skywalker's daughter. Fuck.
Oh God, I hope you're wrong, but you're probably right.
I mean, dude, I thought Mandalorian was not going to have any Jedis in it, and they made it about 4 episodes. Lando series with Donald Glover.
Ugh, that sucks.
Did you not like him as Lando?
No, he was by far the worst part of that film, which is saying a lot.
It's actually not confirmed that he's going to be the character. I like Donald Glover so much that I'm just going to ignore the fact that he wasn't very good in Solo. I thought it was a weird interpretation of the character.
So I'm on the other side of this. I don't know why I cannot stand the guy in anything.
What?
Yeah, I just find him
so
off-putting to me. Everything about him.
You don't like Childish Gambino?
No, I literally don't. I don't understand. Literally, there's something. We all have a person that's just I don't know. There's something about him that just doesn't vibe with me.
Yeah, do a podcast with him every week. Go ahead.
That's
you. That's you, bro. No, I feel you. That's all right. I'm surprised because I think he's very, very talented, but that's the last of the shows on the list. And my overall takeaway is that's just too fucking much, dude. I can't commit all this time to all this.
Like, and you literally can, if you only watch Star Wars and Marvel, you still don't have enough time to watch them all. If you
Yeah.
watch 2 properties and that's it, that's insane to me.
Yeah, that's just it. Like if Marvel releases a slate, and they probably already have, that has 10 shows on it. And I mean, it is worth considering that if there's one a year, then I do have plenty of time to watch all of them. It's just that when they get so interlinked and you've got to know this to understand the lore and this, and everything is kind of shared canon, it gets to be like almost stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing, the problem that I've had with comics for years, like superhero comics. It's like, perfect example. If you want to read Civil War, you can read the Mark Miller like graphic novel. It's okay. If you really want to read Civil War, you got to read 107 issues.
Yeah.
Which is what I did, and it's incredible. It's so much better when you read all the time. It's incredible. But it's like, that's such a commitment.
Yes.
And I'm the type of person, I'm such a completionist that I'm either all in and I'm going to watch everything. And if I don't think I can do that, then I'm all out.
Yes, same deal. And McLovin, I have seen Breaking Bad, and it's one of my favorite shows. Caleb, did you see Breaking Bad?
Oh, yeah. Love Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's a very good one. And I'm actually watching Better Call Saul as well. I think somebody mentioned it a little bit earlier up in the chat. I'm not finished yet, but it's fantastic. Joan wants to know if we watch any anime, Caleb.
Oh, here I have a Naruto sleeve tattooed on me and One Piece tattooed on me. I'm a massive anime fan.
Uh-huh. Yes, he is. He is. He actually is the one that got me into Attack on Titan recently.
And there is on here a show where we watch anime together and we are animated.
Yeah.
On terrible. It's the best thing we've ever done and got no love.
Nobody watched it. No, check that out though if you're curious. It is called Out of Context Anime. There are almost 20 episodes. I mean, we did a bunch of them, so head over there, check them out, see if you like them, and if you do, let us know because they are very fun to watch. Jay Wolfie said, "Wow, Jeremy, sad faces." I wonder if it's because of the Star Wars hate. I don't hate it. It's just a lot. I actually really like all of it. It's just it gets to be overwhelming, I guess. As far as all of these series, I think the one that I'm most excited about is gotta be Obi-Wan, followed with a close second is The Acolyte. I just think that sounds like it's got potential to be something different.
Acolyte is by far my number one, by a mile.
Let's see. I watched every episode. Star Wars anime show coming soon. Interesting.
I read the Star Wars manga a long time ago when it came out.
Is it good?
It was all right.
All right. Well, we got one more topic, and this one was submitted by Random Andy's channel over on Patreon. Also, while I have you guys here, I see there are 24 concurrent viewers right now. That is amazing. Thank you guys for coming by to hang out. It's so cool to see that we are building a community over here on this little corner of the internet. So thank you for being a part of this. The subscriber count is growing. The views, not so much. I don't understand why nobody wants to watch me watch Puppet Master 10 that came out in 2010, but
I know. That seems like blockbuster content.
Yeah. It seems like the thing that would really be bringing in the numbers with analytics. But while I have you here, do me a favor, take a second, click the thumbs up button. That will really help with the algorithm. It'll really help analytics out, and it will hopefully kind of push us and get our name out there and get the brand out there a little bit.
Anyone that you think would like hearing us ramble, share it on social media.
Yes, absolutely. But again, if you guys don't do any of that, thank you for being here, but it would really help us out if you do that. So let's see here. Oscar predictions. This is not something that I'm prepared for, Andy, because as I was looking over this list, I ain't seen any of this shit.
That was me when you sent it to me. You're like, do a little research. I was like, dude, I haven't seen a single film on this list.
I meant Google somebody else's list, and let's pretend like there are nominations.
Oh, that we should have just faked it?
Yeah. Just find like a credible journalist, like somebody from We Got This Covered. You know what I mean? Somebody with
a real credible.
All right. The predicted nominees for Best Picture are Nomadland, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Minari, News of the World, Da Five Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, One Night in Miami, Sound of Metal, which I actually really want to see, and Promising Young Woman, and Judas and the Black Messiah. So I really want to see Judas, Promising Young Woman, and Sound of Metal. The rest of those I don't really know much about. I hear the Chicago 7's good.
Chicago 7 looks good, but Ma Rainey's Black Bottom I actually really want to see. That's the Chadwick Boseman one, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And it is Ma Rainey, horn player. Yeah, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind seeing Chadwick Boseman's performance as well. I mean, I would watch any of these. And I did hear Charles Chicago 7's very good. I really like Riz Ahmed, and I fucking love drums and playing drums, and I think that is just an interesting a movie about a heavy metal drummer's life thrown into a free fall when he begins to lose his hearing. I feel like that's got, potential.
Super cool. Super cool. Yeah, that's really cool. That actually sounds really good. I didn't know what it was about, but that sounds really good.
And then Judas and the Black Messiah is actually available on HBO Max right now. I should probably check it out. Next in line contenders, Soul, Mank. Mank is directed by David Fincher. I should check it out. Soul was great. Did you see Soul?
No, that's the animated one?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't see it.
Thought it was very good.
So David Fincher, I didn't even know made a film. So he made a film this year?
Yeah.
So
and it's supposed to be good. It's got Amanda Seyfried in it, and it's black and white, which might be one of the deterrents.
For me? Or for the general audiences?
Just for me.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I like Ed Wood and Schindler's List, but
see, for me, it just made me want to see it more right now.
Yeah, and I figured as much. Did you see the one from the year before, the Mexican one? I think it was Mexican. It might not have been at all, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Oh, the black and white film?
Yeah.
No, I know which one you're talking about. I didn't see it, though.
I can't even think of what it's called.
Either.
And then the Artist one a couple years back. It's a thing. The Lighthouse was fucking dope, and it was black and white. So I don't dislike black and white movies.
I love it. Like, I'm more likely to watch a black and white film.
You can't wait for the black and white version of Snyder Cut. You're not even going to watch it until the black and white version's available.
It's funny. So someone who even loves black and white, that was like the black and white version of Logan. Like, I was like, I think that movie's better in color. If you're going to make a black and white film, shoot it in black and white.
Yeah.
Because lighting is so important.
Of all the things you've seen this year, is there anything that you want to see, walk away with some sort of notoriety?
No, honestly, I don't even know if I've watched a movie that came out this year. I've just been watching everything that I want to watch, because now that I'm not doing, and even when I go back to Caleb's Movie Corner, it's still stuff I want to bring notice to, even if it's 10 years old. If I want to talk about it, I'm gonna. And for me personally, is a much more enjoyable way to watch film. When I had my own channel and I was doing movie reviews weekly, at least, miserable way to watch everything because you feel like you're obligated to.
I know that feeling. There was a long time when I did feel pressured to do that. I'd go see I'd go see a movie every Thursday and come home and do a review on it. And I enjoy it. I mean, it gives me something to do, but at the same time, since the pandemic started, my viewing habits have changed so drastically that I'm almost like a completely different viewer than I was last year.
Are you just watching literally just random stuff that appeals to you now?
Lots of documentaries lately. I watched the one about Elizabeth Holmes, that CEO of the fake drug blood testing thing.
What's that on?
HBO Max.
I need to get it back on Max because I really want to see that.
It's very good. I couldn't believe that it came out in 2019, but it is very good, very interesting. Yeah, I guess, and I saw McLovin mention it a moment ago. Palm Springs is very fucking good, better than I thought it had any business being. It's interesting that it's getting nominated for the kind of prestige awards that it is, but I like Andy Samberg and Christine. I can't think of what her name is right now, but both the cast members and J.K. Simmons, all very good in it.
Do you personally care about award shows in general?
I prefer the Golden Globes to the Oscars.
Really?
But no, I mean, the answer is still no, but at least the Golden Globes are they're a little more entertaining. They're a little more about there's just a little bit better of an energy in there, and they're not so up their own asses because at least the Hollywood Foreign Press is deciding who wins instead of Hollywood themselves.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just too masturbatory.
For me, I'm just one of those people where personally, I don't care if a film is considered great by the Academy or by anyone. Art is so subjective that I'm like, at the end of the day, there's one opinion that matters about art, and that's your own.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And it is, one of the things that I've always liked about film criticism in particular is that, like, it kind of goes back. I'm going to try to tie it to our conversation about truth earlier, but it's like, objectively, we're all seeing the same thing. As I mentioned about biases, we all carry our own personal experiences into every film that we see, and that means that we all perceive them so dramatically differently afterwards. And even if I don't agree with your take on a movie, I think it's fucking endlessly fascinating to hear people talk about it.
Me too. I'm the same way. I love hearing different varied opinions, which a lot of my opinions are not the mainstream one. So I hear a lot of dissenting opinion to what I think. And I just find it fascinating. I like to hear what people liked about a film that I missed.
Yep.
Because there's movies that people love that I'm just like, I don't get it. Like I don't understand the appeal. Then there's other things where people hate and I'm like, I'm shocked that people don't love this.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what keeps us coming back. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. It's been an awesome show. Seriously. And I really appreciate the suggestions for topics. That viewer mail segment at the end is something that I've always wanted to do. There was 5 or 6 years ago that I wanted to do that. Like, I knew I wanted to do a show where people were submitting topics to me, but what would happen is I would have to, like, hit up Caleb on the sly or, like, one of my buddies and be like, hey, dude, ask me a question. Just ask me a question so that I can say that you asked me the question. But now we actually have people asking questions, and that's fucking awesome.
I remember even when we get a lot of times, like, users on People Are Terrible, when we get, like, user, submitted questions, I just randomly ask people on Twitter, be like, hey, what's something you'd like to talk about? And it wouldn't even be people who would watch the podcast.
Yeah.
Subject that no one's watching for anyway.
Thank you guys all very much. Make sure that you click the like button before you head out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure that you check back every Thursday. We go live at 6 p.m. CST. And check out Movies Are Terrible on Patreon. Caleb is Terrible on Instagram. Jeremy Be Terrible on your social media. And until next time, and on behalf of both of us, be terrible. Peace.